From the so-called devil school to a psychic hairstylist, Riverside and Avondale are teeming with urban legends and ghost stories. And there's no greater chronicler of weird history of the city than Tim Gilmore, educator and author of the JaxPsychoGeo blog, as well as current tally, how many books?
Oh, 24.
24 and counting. Well, good to see you, Tim. Thanks for coming back on.
You too, Anne. Love being described that way, so thanks.
Well, you have certainly earned all of those monikers. You're hosting now what is billed as the first of the Porchlight series. Can you explain to us a little bit what the Porchlight series is? What is the vision?
Well, I don't want to speak for Riverside Avondale Preservation, but it's a new series of talks that they are giving. I think some of the directions that they want to take things in are really exciting, So they asked me to do the first talk called Haunted Histories. But other talks that they have planned include Black architects, and I think the last one, I believe, is on tenants' rights, actually, which I love to hear that rap is concerned with these days.
Yeah, they're casting a broad net, and
Yep.
indeed, they also have one that's kind of on historic homes and red tape, and what people who might be
Yes.
embarking on renovation might need to know. And so,
Right.
some of this is cool history. Some of this is just a way to invite people into a conversation about things that matter in that community.
Yeah, I love the diversity of it. Yeah, I really do.
So you are, of course, honing in on your area of expertise, which is, things that are, historical,
Mhm.
but also a little dark, quirky, mysterious.
Lots of quirky and mysterious here. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
how are you framing your own presentation?
Well, there's so many different directions things could go. And you mentioned urban legends. And of course, I think probably most people in the city, if you said, ghosts and you said Riverside, would come up with school number 4, the old Annie Lytle School, which has a million fascinating urban legends. It has been abandoned for seemingly forever,
Yeah.
and
Right by the interstate, we should say, kind of
yeah.
right where Interstate I-10 and I-95
Exactly.
kind of.
Yeah, it's right at the I guess that would be the northern end of Riverside Park, and if you are on the flyover from the Acosta Bridge onto I-10 or I-95, you have gone kind of over it. But it's a great building, and it has lots of fascinating stories, and I think that stories do real work in our psyches and our communities. I mean, whether or not you believe that there was a cannibal janitor, it's one of the urban legends of, of school number 4. Uh, Stories are living things.
Yeah, and we're showing some photographs of the old Annie Lytle School.
Mm.
I mean, there was a time when that was slated to become condos. I think
Hmm.
at this point, it's almost the stories that have kept it alive because I don't know that
Mm.
anybody has any practical reservation or renovation plans for it.
Not at the moment. I'm pretty sure, for all the naysayers out there who can't see, how properties like this could be refurbished. I always point to school number 1, which is the old Duval High School downtown that Ted Pappas restored in the late 1970s.
And
You know,
serves now as.
Right now, it's actually senior housing. But it's I think there are lots of possibilities for places like this.
And so, is it haunted?
Is it haunted?
Yeah,
Lots of people think so.
yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're gonna be talking about that. You're also gonna be talking a little bit, I think, about John Carver. Can
Hmm.
you tell us about who he was?
Yeah. Oh man, John Carver is just a fascinating personality. He was an Avondale hairstylist. He was also known as a ghost chaser, although he did not like the word ghost. He preferred to call them entities. He was very sensitive with the the whole paranormal thing. And he actually, at his Avondale salon, which is still a salon actually in a different place on St. or different name and ownership, obviously on St. John's Avenue. But he would offer horoscopes, which meant that he would give people horoscopes, tell people horoscopes while he cut their hair.
Wow.
But he argued that, and these are his words, there was a psychic web of magnetic interstices in older and historic neighborhoods in which entities could get trapped after death.
Mm.
So he
Particular to Riverside Avondale?
Riverside, and there was a house in Ortega that was written up a good bit in the 1970s. One of the editors of the Florida Times Union had renovated it, and so he went there and tried to allay the entities, as he called them. He gave
Mm.
a talk. He gave lots of talks. He gave a talk called "The Care and Feeding of Unhappy Entities." He was a real character. And so his son, Chris Carver, is a great guy. He lives in this fascinating, big old house in Riverside. The house is actually called Glenifer. It has a name, and he talked to me about how his father actually passed away on Halloween night, 1984. He was doing a
Mm.
TV special in Tallahassee on ghosts, and in Chris' words, he presided over the subject like Queen Victoria. So he's he's an absolutely fascinating person. There's so much more to say about him, and I'm excited to talk about him.
To delve into it, and of course, you probably are gonna touch a little bit on the senator's wife, the Duncan Fletcher,
Yeah,
former mayor Anna
right.
Fletcher, who is also known for her seances and kind of has a you wrote an entire book about
I
her
did. I
right here,
brought it for you.
channeling
Yeah.
Anna Fletcher, right here.
Yeah, Anna Fletcher is so fascinating. Most people in Jacksonville know the name Duncan Fletcher. Probably most people in Jacksonville couldn't tell you who he was. He
Mm.
was mayor of Jacksonville a couple times. He was a Florida senator for 27 years. Anna Fletcher argued against Harry Houdini before a congressional subcommittee. Houdini was on this campaign against psychics and seances and fortune telling. He was very upset because of some things that psychics had said, trying to connect Houdini to his mother after his mother passed away.
Mm.
And she argued against Houdini before Congress. She had seances in her house. She wrote a couple of books. I have, copies of both of them. They were self-published in very small quantities in the 1920s. One was called Death Unveiled. Really fascinating person, and she lived in a couple places in Jacksonville. Earlier houses are gone now, but her final house is still on Riverside Avenue.
There is gonna be a lot to talk about at this event, and I guess people can sort of bring their own stories to share as
Yeah,
they will.
absolutely. Yeah.
This one is being held at Happy Medium Book
hmm
Cafe.
hmm
I believe the event is full, but there is a wait list, so people can get their name on a
Yeah,
wait
I
list.
I wanna say the more the merrier,
Sure.
I don't know what all of the, contingency
There's no such
plans
thing
will
as the seating
be.
capacity, right? Just
No,
blow
no,
right
no.
past that.
And Happy Medium has been open for something like 2 years, and if you haven't been there, it is such a wonderful little bookstore, and even if Riverside is not your part of town, if you were in San Francisco, you wouldn't say, "Well, I don't live near city lights, so
I'm
I'm
not
not
gonna
going
go
there."
right.
It's a wonderful place, so, and it's a real, community literary hub as well.
Yeah, well, a
Yeah.
great event. Tim Gilmore, it's June 5th on Thursday at 6:30 p.m., Happy Medium Book Cafe. Tim, thanks so much for joining
Yeah,
us.
absolutely. Thank you, Ann.
All right.